All right, so you know how we were talking about that toxic Bitcoin Saturday article? The one that paints a pretty intense picture of what's happening with Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, it's a wild ride.
Well, get this. We're diving deep into all that juicy crypto action today. Bitcoin's on a tear, Ethereum holders are kind of freaking out, and there's even a tiny country out there that's basically schooling everyone on how to play the Bitcoin game.
That's what really grabbed me about the article, this whole Bitcoin dominance thing it talks about. It's not just like Bitcoin's price going up, it's like Bitcoin's influence is exploding.
Okay, so break down this dominance thing for me. What does that even mean? Like, if I'm holding some Ethereum, should I be worried?
Imagine, right, a heavyweight boxer in the ring. But instead of punches, it's market share and trust from investors. That's Bitcoin right now. And the article uses Ethereum's performance lately as like exhibit A for how this dominance is playing out.
Ethereum. But I thought Ethereum was supposed to be the next big thing, the Bitcoin killer and all that.
Yeah, about that. The article basically calls it a slow motion descent into irrelevancy, which, ouch.
Wow. So what happened?
Well, Ethereum's share of the market has definitely taken a hit. Even Vitalik Buterin, one of the founders of Ethereum, tweeted about it potentially going to zero.
Wait, seriously, he actually said that?
Yep. Tweeted it out for the world to see.
Wow, he doesn't hold back. I mean, do you think that's actually possible, Ethereum going to zero? Or is that just, like, hyperbole?
It's definitely a strong statement, no doubt, but I think it highlights this shift in perception more than anything. Like, investors are looking at Bitcoin as that safe haven, especially with how crazy the market's been lately.
So more stability, more trust.
Exactly. And the article really digs into how that plays out.
Interesting. So if I'm an Ethereum holder, this dominance thing should be a wake-up call. Time to, like, rethink the game plan.
It's definitely a good time to pay attention. The market's talking, and it's saying Bitcoin is the heavyweight champ right now.
Okay, noted. Now, let's talk about a country that's playing this whole crypto game differently. I gotta admit, this part of the article really blew my mind. Bhutan. Tiny country, nestled in the Himalayas. They're quietly building a Bitcoin empire, of all things.
Bhutan is the perfect example of, like, thinking outside the box. They're using their hydropower resources, which they have in abundance, to mine Bitcoin on a national scale.
Hold on, Bhutan.
Yeah.
Seriously. When I think global Bitcoin players, Bhutan isn't exactly the first place that comes to mind.
Right, but that's the beauty of it. They're not flashy, but they're playing the long game. They're quietly stacking those Satoshis.
Satoshis.
Oh, right, sorry. A Satoshi is basically like the smallest unit of a Bitcoin, like a penny to the dollar.
Got it, thanks.
Hmm.
So Bhutan's hoarding these Satoshis. What's the strategy there?
It's all about building up a big old Bitcoin reserve. They have over 1.6 million Satoshis for every single person in the country. Think about that.
That's a lot of Satoshis.
It is, and it shows that Bitcoin isn't just for tech giants in Wall Street anymore. Even a small nation like Bhutan can leverage its strengths and make some strategic moves in this game. It really shakes up the power dynamics of traditional finance.
That's wild. Bhutan, man. Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about Bitcoin's rise, Ethereum's maybe not so bright future. But what about the environmental impact of all this? That's always a hot topic with Bitcoin.
Definitely. And the article brings up a really interesting point about that. It uses an example from Norway that honestly kind of flips the script on the whole Bitcoin is bad for the environment narrative.
Okay, so we all know Bitcoin mining uses a ton of energy. What's so special about Norway?
So there was this town in Norway, right? And they had a Bitcoin mining operation set up. But here's the thing. They were using surplus energy, like energy that would have just gone to waste otherwise.
So they found a way to put that extra energy to good use.
Exactly. And get this, when that mining operation shut down, energy prices in the town actually went up.
Wait, what? Shutting down Bitcoin mining made their energy bills go up. How does that even make sense?
I know, right? It's totally counterintuitive. It challenges that whole idea that Bitcoin is always an environmental nightmare.
So in this case, Bitcoin mining was actually making things more efficient.
Yeah. It's like a real-world example of how Bitcoin could actually be part of a greener energy future. Who would have thought?
That's pretty mind-blowing. See, this is what I love about this toxic Bitcoin Saturday piece. It really digs into these weird contradictions and shows you the whole picture.
Totally.
Okay, ready for the next bombshell from the article? BlackRock is officially on the Bitcoin bandwagon.
Yeah, and everyone's freaking out, as they should. That's huge.
For those of us who don't spend all day thinking about Wall Street, what's the big deal about BlackRock? And what's this whole ETF thing?
Okay, so BlackRock is like the biggest asset manager in the world. We're talking trillions of dollars.
Trillions with a T, got it.
Yes, trillions with a T. And an ETF, it's basically like a basket of assets you can invest in. In this case, we're talking about a spot Bitcoin ETF, which means it directly tracks the price of Bitcoin.
So you're not buying Bitcoin directly, but you're betting on its price.
Exactly. And for big players like BlackRock, this is huge. It gives them a way to get into the Bitcoin game without dealing with all the hassle of, like, cryptocurrency exchanges and stuff.
So it's like they built a bridge from Wall Street to Bitcoin land.
Boom. Perfect analogy.
Right.
And that bridge is legitimizing Bitcoin like never before.
So is it too late for us regular folks to get in on the action? Bitcoin's already expensive.
Well, the article mentions this guy, Michael Saylor, who's a big Bitcoin bull. He's predicting Bitcoin will hit $5 million per coin.
$5 million.
Yeah.
For one Bitcoin.
Yep. Obviously, that's just a prediction, but still, it gets you thinking, right?
$5 million would be life-changing, to say the least. But is this Saylor guy just, like, ridiculously optimistic? Or is there actually a chance Bitcoin could go that high?
He definitely has his reasons. He talks about wider adoption of these ETFs for one. And there's also talk about potential changes in accounting rules that would make it easier for companies to hold Bitcoin.
So it's not just hype. There are actual things that could push the price up.
Exactly. And the article lays out these what-if scenarios that are pretty mind-blowing. Like, imagine putting aside just $20 a week into Bitcoin. If Saylor's right and Bitcoin hits $5 million by 2045, that little weekly investment could turn into over $1.2 million.
Okay, hold on a second. $20 a week becoming over $1 million. That just sounds too good to be true, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it's important to remember these are just like what-if scenarios. There's no guarantee Bitcoin's going to hit $5 million or even a fraction of that.
Right. But still,
Yeah.
it's pretty tempting to think about.
For sure. It definitely makes you think about the long game, you know? Even if you can only put aside a little bit right now, it could pay off big time down the road. But honestly, even beyond the whole investment side of things, what I found so fascinating about that toxic Bitcoin Saturday article was like how it connects Bitcoin to everything else that's going on in the world.
It's true. We've gone from talking about like market charts and stuff to like national strategies and clean energy. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Right. Bitcoin isn't just this niche thing for tech geeks anymore. It's a global force, and it's changing everything. Even if you're not ready to, like, buy a bunch of Bitcoin right now, just understanding what it is and how it works is super important.
Totally. It's like we've got a front row seat to a financial revolution or something. So, after this crazy deep dive, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the crypto world, especially with Bitcoin leading the charge, is not just some passing fad. This is the future of money and technology, and it's happening right now.
It was moving fast, too. I mean, BlackRock getting into Bitcoin, that was unthinkable just a few years ago.
Exactly. And that toxic Bitcoin Saturday article just highlights how quickly things can change in this space. What seems impossible today could be old news tomorrow.
So to sum it up, buckle up because things are about to get even wilder in the world of Bitcoin.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up for today. Big thanks to our expert for breaking down all the complexities of the Bitcoin surge.
Anytime. Always happy to geek out about crypto.
And to all our listeners, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep diving deep into the fascinating world around us. Until next time.